Hey guys, welcome to another episode of CCTV. Stop laughing, Charlotte. Unprofessional. We are talking to the epic Rebecca Martin, founder of Social Thread Marketing and hashtag Instagram lady. Welcome, Rebecca. How
Hi
you
guys,
doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Yes,
Good.
all
Good.
good.
Thank you so much for
All
having
good.
me on today. I'm so
Oh,
excited to be a guest on CCTV.
very, very excited to have you. So tell us a tiny bit about Social Thread Marketing.
Okay, so we're a little baby company. We only started about a year ago, coming up to a year ago. And so we specialize in Instagram marketing. So I am a marketer. I done my degree in marketing, got loads of experience, bagged myself a good job, and then last year, just before the pandemic hit, I went to change jobs and work for an agency, which was like over here, like it's wow, they have the most amazing clients. And so I was due to start on the Monday, and on the Friday I was told the offer was retracted because of
wow.
coronavirus.
Oh
And
God,
like,
panic.
Oh my God.
yeah, we just got our house, and so I was like,
Oh
how
man,
for this mortgage?
it's not what you want to hear, is it?
It was so worrying, and it was just a crazy time because coronavirus had obviously came, so everybody was so confused what was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, my partner, his stepmom, had just passed away suddenly, and then I got told I don't have a job and I have a mortgage to pay, so it was extremely
Stressful.
worrying. And I was like, what do I do? So of course the panic set in, and there was a few days of just kind of going, I don't know what the plan is. There's no jobs out there to apply for at the time. So that's grand. I just kept going, do you know what? I have one of two options. I can sit around and I can do nothing and wait until something comes to me, which was looking very unlikely. Or I could do what I've always wanted to do and try my hand at freelance marketing and see how it goes. Because there was no real investment for me to do it other than time, and obviously internet and a laptop is all I needed.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, let's give this a go. I had no idea where to start. So this was about 2 weeks after I got told I didn't have the job. So I was like, right, okay. I was just on LinkedIn, constantly contacting people, seeing what I could do, just trying everything. And then the lovely Alice Rowan Hall had popped up a post. And so it was saying that she was starting a new brand and she was wanting someone to help her with Instagram marketing. So I dropped her a message and I was like, there's no chance she's gonna like reply to me. She's probably got so many messages, which she did. And so that's fine. So she then replied. It was a Saturday afternoon. She replied and she was like, hey Rebecca, are you free to jump on a chat? And I was like, yeah, standing like doing my dishes in my dressing gown. I was like, I'm so not ready for this. Yeah, give me 15 minutes, ran for a quick shower, sorted the face out, and yeah, and then
That's so impressive that you've done that in 15 minutes,
15
can I
minutes.
just say?
Maybe
I'd have given you a
15.
job just for that.
Maybe it wasn't 15, maybe I am kind of overreacting on that. But yeah, so I was like, right, okay, I need to kind of bring my game here, even though it's really last minute, like, oh, this is crazy. So I jumped on a Zoom with her. And at the time, like, I wasn't used to doing video calls. Now it's just like second nature. But at the time, it was like, flip, this is so embarrassing, so that's grand. So I had a chat with her and she was telling me she was wanting someone to do the Instagram marketing. I had done some Instagram marketing before at my previous jobs. So it was like, yeah, like I'm not overly experienced, I was just totally honest. But like I'd love to give it a go. And so by that night I was working for Alice already and I had already started doing some work that evening. And then as it kind of went on, she was happy with how I was doing things. And so she gave me more tasks and then to move into other brands that she worked with. So that's where it all started. Then I was like, right, I can do this. Like people are interested in, in what I
Gives you
can
that
do.
bit of
And
confidence, doesn't it, when you see a little sort of trickle of success?
100%. So yeah, then Alice popped a little post out about me, and of course her connections like are fabulous. She's got so many people in her network. So yeah, I got a few inquiries through, and from there the business just kept growing and growing, and it's been
What have I just done?
You've just turned your camera off, you knob.
I don't think I have.
Your camera's gone.
I know.
I'm asking you to start video.
There we go.
You've moved everyone around now.
Testing. Testing. Oh, I'm so sorry. Right, carry on. So then she put a post out
and
about
so
you.
then loads of her connections were contacting and inquiring about the services that I offer. And of course, I was very much like, oh, I don't really know what I offer, and I could try this. And so then I just started building up my experience, and that's how the business has kind of grown since.
So give us a little bit of background information on Alice Rowan Hall, just for anyone that doesn't know who she is or what she does at the minute.
Yeah, pretty popular lady.
She is indeed, yeah. So Alice was the founder of Pink Boutique, which is a ladies' fashion wear company online. So she started that up with her mum, I don't know, like maybe about 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was like a £90 investment. The story behind it is amazing. So anyone out there kind of wanting some inspiration, starting up their own brand, especially within fashion or e-commerce, like definitely read up on Alice's story, because it's so inspiring. It's brilliant. So yeah, they started up with like £90, bought 6 dresses. Once they sold those 6 dresses on eBay, bought more and just kept going. And yeah, amazing. So then she sold Pink Boutique, or kind of stepped down from her role there, and started up Rowan Homes then, under the Rowan Group. So Rowan Homes is an interior design company, and they also have a shop at the moment where they sell like sofas and lots of gorgeous home accessories like that as well. So yeah.
So that was quite a land, wasn't it? Like, for in terms of opening doors and stuff. So if you landed in her inbox, firstly, well done, because it takes courage to do that, doesn't it? And secondly, so she jumps on the call from you, you got ready in, we'll say 15 minutes. How do you think you swayed that and sort of talked to her? What do you think was the sort of deciding sort of source behind that, really? Because she must talk to a lot of people all the time. So
that's the thing. And you know what, looking back, I think I was just, I know it might sound quite like cheesy, but I think I was just me. And I think that's why it's kind of all worked out so far, is because I'm not putting on this persona of, you know, I'm amazing and I do Instagram and I can do this. I was just honest, and I was like, I haven't got an awful lot of experience in Instagram, but I'm so willing to learn. Like, you know, let me try this. If it doesn't work, that's completely fine. You know, we can try something else, or, you know, and I was just really willing to work with her. And yeah, I was just me. I was goofy on the call, I'm sure, and just kind of like, just probably like, oh God, love that girl.
Goofy's nice though, and you obviously, first of all, I think you've got to like someone, haven't you? You've got to, I can't even be bothered to work with people if I don't like them anymore. I'm just like, you're dead to me. Yeah. And secondly, she probably gets a lot of pictures where people are giving it so large.
Yeah.
And then you're this really down to earth, honest, bubbly, kind of quirky, you know what I mean? That probably was like, yeah, I mean, she was probably thinking, I'm loving this.
Yeah, exactly.
What sort of results did you get working on that Instagram page? So was it the Rowan Homes Instagram page you were working on? And so what sort of results did you achieve from that page during that time period?
Yeah, so we started last April. It was kind of the end of April, and I worked for her for around 4 to 6 months and around that. And so we started with around 30k followers, and when I stopped working with Alice, we were up to about 60k, I think.
Wow.
So yeah, that was huge. But of course, that's down to Alice, you know, being a super successful businesswoman as well, and the offering she has is amazing. So it's a mixture of all those things, but what, you know, Alice and me kind of worked on was engagement on Instagram, you know, the consistency and always showing up.
So what do you think? I mean, I find it harder to grow on Instagram, although truthfully I don't really try, to be perfectly honest. I just kind of do a few bits and I enjoy it because it feels a bit less stressful, really, because I've only got like about half a dozen followers. So it's a bit more kind of just fun and silly and whatever. But what do you think? I've found it harder to grow organically on Instagram than I ever did on LinkedIn. And there was times when LinkedIn was like an epic waste ground of tumbleweed, but I do think that Instagram is just harder. Is that my perception? Is it harder, do you think, to grow organically?
Yeah, I do think it's harder. A lot of work needs to be put in. There needs to be a plan. You know, it's, people often think just post on Instagram when you have something to post, you know, pop up every now and then, but you really do need to constantly keep showing up, and you need to have a really, really good plan behind what you're doing.
Yeah.
So how important do you think it is for like B2C businesses, for example, to be on Instagram as a platform if they're selling a product into consumers, and where should they start?
Well, first of all, it is super, super important. Like I always say to my clients whenever we have our first call, I'm like, you need to look at Instagram as a little shop front. So, people go onto that, and whenever they look at your profile and your grid straight away, that's like them seeing your shop front and deciding whether they want to enter or not, or just like the landing page on your website. It needs to be really up there. You need to bring your A game, so you do, and have everything really branded, really consistent with every other, platform you have out there. But yeah, I forgot what the second part of the question was.
Claire, what did I say? That was such a good first answer. I can't even remember now.
You said something about
where should they start?
Where should they start if they're a B2C brand with a product?
Okay, so I would always recommend starting with a nice little plan of where you are, where you want to be, and then figuring out how you're going to get there with Instagram. And I would do some research into competitors and how their grids are looking. See what kind of trends they're following, whether they're following any kind of particular grid styles, how regular they're posting and what type of content they're posting, and then start from there. And there's loads of free apps out there as well. Like you've got Planoly, you've got Buffer. There's so many to work with, and they're free. So, if you've got a load of content, loads of images, upload them to these platforms and like figure out the best way that your profile can look, and just take time on it. That's the whole thing with Instagram, is it takes time. It can't be something you just do every now and then, you come back to, or whenever you feel like it. You really need to set aside time for it if you're going to do it properly.
Which is why I've only got half a dozen followers. Quite right you are. You're doing all right though, aren't you, Charlotte, to be fair, on Insta?
I didn't think I was doing that well, and also my grid looks horrendous. I honestly don't plan anything on Instagram. It's like, I don't know. It started out at the beginning of the year, last year, as a personal page. Then I archived everything and moved it over to a business page because I didn't want to start at 0 followers, which I'm thinking now I should have just done that. Because I didn't really have hardly any anyway. I'm not gonna lie, I only had like my nan on there and a couple of friends. I've never been Instagram for me has always just been loads of pictures of Matilda. Like I'm just like that really cringy mum that
a bit Facebooky.
Yeah, a bit Facebooky. So, but then at the same time, I was like, actually, I don't really want people seeing these pictures of me now, that they can go and find them, because I'm posting on LinkedIn a lot, and I don't really want people knowing all about my life, because I think I give a lot
some privacy, don't you?
Yeah, I give a bit away on LinkedIn, but I think people think they know more about me than they actually do, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so I just archived all of that, and then I started freaking out because obviously I started my business, so I started trying to be really businessy, and then I was like, what am I doing? This is so rubbish. I need to just have a word with myself. And then I didn't post anything for ages. It's only recently I've started posting now, but I do still find it difficult to juggle between mad as a box of frogs, CCTV, and then having that personal element as well, because I always just want to go back to but habitually posting oh, I'm having a lovely day. Do you know what I mean? But I try not to do that too much, but sometimes just too strong.
Yeah.
It's over. So yeah, there's no planning behind my Instagram whatsoever. It's a terrible mismatch. You could probably have a look at it for me, Rebecca.
We can have a look, don't worry.
sort her out. Yeah, totally. So how have you found starting social thread marketing, Rebecca? Obviously, I think for me personally, I think the pandemic in a business sense has sent more business my way potentially. Whenever Boris sort of says there's going to be a lockdown, everyone dumps me for about 2 weeks, and then they come back and seem to bring a load of mates, because everyone's like, right, everything's online, we need to get organized, we need a writer, we need a blog, we need this, we need that. So how have you kind of found it this year, and how have you sort of grown and gone with the flow?
Yeah, well, we started at the very start of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So to be honest, I don't think I'd be where I am if it wasn't for the pandemic, because I would have started the new job, and I would have just went with the flow, and I would have took the secure route of having a job in order to pay the mortgage and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's pushed me out of my comfort zone, which has been amazing because it's led to where I want to be. And it's been great. And you're right, I don't think even the demand would be there as half as much if it wasn't for the pandemic, because businesses are like, they've had a while to step back and go, okay, well, you know what, we do need to spend more time investing in social media and online, everything like that. They've had a time to like step back and look at everything again, and just reevaluate their business. So yeah, it's worked out really, really well for me, which has been fantastic. Of course, like, as I'm sure you are both the same, you have your really, really good days, and then like the morning can be fabulous, and the afternoon you're like ready to pull out your hair, and then the evening you want to cry, and then you're happy again.
It is quite a roller coaster.
Yeah, it really, really is. And there's there's a lack of sleep constantly. It's like having a newborn baby that just never sleeps. It's crazy, but it is so worth it. And I wouldn't change anything about it, even all the tears that it brings sometimes, and the confusion, and just like I constantly doubt myself, and that's one thing. So that's probably one thing that holds me back. But then again, it kind of motivates me, who I am, and the nice kind of one-to-one service that I offer people. Is, I kind of doubt myself, because I go, oh, it's just me. Like, why would somebody want me? And I don't really believe in myself that much. Which is what I'm trying to do with my LinkedIn content as well, is kind of show that a bit more of, like, if you want to be your own boss, do it. You can do it, because I never thought I could be. And to me, I'm just a little girl from Northern Ireland, and sure, I wouldn't be able to do it, but I am, and I'm doing it.
Yeah,
so
you are doing it.
Everybody.
So how do you overcome those thoughts? Because to be perfectly honest, I think that it is statistically something that females suffer with more, which is like sort of self-doubt, imposter syndrome. And like how do you kind of overcome that? Because it is daunting when you're doing something, and maybe when you're talking to somebody like quite famous, like your first client, and it's like panic.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of like overcome that?
I would love to have like a really good answer for that.
I'll just get my pen.
But,
yeah, let me know.
But I feel like it's one of those things that every time it happens, it's different. And there's no right or wrong answer to say, like, this is how you're going to overcome it, because it'll probably happen to me again a billion times, in my time of business. But I think it's just kind of what I like to do is, create a little plan. And so if I'm doubting myself, I like to write little notes of, little goals that I've reached, and like remind myself of little wins, like even if it's something really, really small.
That's nice.
So it's great. And then I have a little inbox. So in my inbox, I've got a nice little folder, and I save like nice little comments that people have maybe messaged me. So whether it's a message from a client saying, oh, thanks so much, you're a dream, keep up the good work, or what, I'll just pop it into the wee folder. And sometimes I'll go, if I'm having a wee bit of like a, staring out the window for a while, I'll go, do you know what, I need to get back to it. Right, let's have a little look at that folder and go, right, okay, this is why I'm doing it, because people actually appreciate what I do. That's why I get paid for it. That's why I continue doing it, and I can make a living from it. So yeah.
I think that's quite good though, because you're basically just using like factual feedback from clients to overcome something that is purely just a feeling. That's what when feelings come and go, they're not really a real thing, are they? I'm going off on a tangent here, but it does kind of bug me that there's so many women that kind of doubt themselves and put themselves down, and we're capable of so much, but like they don't start the business. They do panic that they're just somebody from Northern Ireland and maybe no one's going to listen to them, and it's nonsense. And you can do it, and we can all do whatever we set our minds to. Sunday vibes, that's what's going on here.
Yes, Claire. Do you know though, I massively struggled with that up until just a few months ago. I was constantly doubting myself, like to a point where some days my anxiety would be so bad. Luckily, touch wood, I haven't felt like that for a couple of months now. But yeah, some days it would be just crippling. But I think, did you lose me then? I was just saying,
Only for like 3 seconds.
up until a few months ago, I definitely felt how you have those days now. I was having them quite frequently where I would really doubt myself. And to be honest with you, like you said, I don't think I would have carried on working for myself for so long if I'd have been able to just go get like a well-paid job doing the same thing. But in a way, the pandemic forces you into, like, you have to make it work or you don't have a living, so you have to just carry on, don't you? But I think the longer you get in your business journey and the more people that you work with and the more results that you actually get, you can't really sit there and say to yourself, oh, I'm not very good at this, because if you know that you're getting really good results,
Because you are,
then you can't really like doubt yourself too much. I think like the more you get along in your journey, it just reinforces that you can do it. So I think it's a time, and also like self-awareness, to be honest with yourself. And I know it sounds really, really cheesy, but actually to speak to people and go and get help when you feel like that, because it's a normal thing, actually.
Yeah, you're not on your own with stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think most business owners, especially people that are doing it on their own, have days when they feel utter crap and why am I doing this?
Yeah, panicked, a bit isolated, not sure what to do.
Yeah.
Maybe someone doesn't pay your invoices.
Yeah.
Hey, Claire.
You know who you are if you're watching. Pay up. Yeah.
I've got one at the minute too.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare.
It knocks you, and you might even get an experience where you speak to someone on the phone and they're rude, or you put your pricing in and they're like, "How much?" And you're like, "Am I like robbing people?" Like, do you know what I mean? It's hard. It's hard to be tough.
I think the thing is, as well, when you put pricing in and then someone comes back and was like, "Yeah, we need to look at that." I don't. That was a fair price. That's my best price. Just let me know whether you want to take it or not. But it comes down to confidence, doesn't it, to actually say that to the person? Because some people, and I've figured this out, some people, even if that's a completely fair price, which everybody tries to price fairly unless they're a, straight up bandit, which I don't think we are. But there is some people it is just completely built in to haggle. Yeah. And that's just them and their personality. But when you're quite new in your business, that can make you think, if they receive 3 quotes from a copywriter and mine's exorbitant and everybody else is down here, that's actually not usually the case. And even if it is, that's not my problem. I put in a fair price for the value, the skills and the time. If you don't want to take it, that's fine.
And even if you're more expensive than everyone else, if you know that you're going to get a job done, you're going to do it well, and it's going to give you the time to spend, to do that job properly, then screw them. Actually, I'd rather charge a little bit more and do a good job and not ruin my reputation for the sake of saving them a few quid and then stressing myself out taking on too many clients.
Yeah.
100%. So what kind of client-wise, who are you kind of working with, Rebecca? What sort of brands are you helping on the old gram?
Yeah, so we have like a textile company, we've got clothing, we've got food and beverage companies, events. There is a lot out there, but it's good to show that that all of these companies are benefiting from Instagram as well. It's not specific to one type of industry or anything like that. They're all really benefiting from it, which is great.
I think Instagram, and this is probably my naivety, but I think people kind of have this association that Instagram is just full of sort of ex-Love Island contestants and influencers and stuff like that. That was always kind of my perception, to be honest, which is perhaps why I've not really taken it that seriously, and because I haven't really massively felt the need. But yeah, would you say that it is a good idea to work with influencers? Do you think Instagram is more product-based than service-based?
Influencers, if you have the budget for it, I would definitely do it. However, I would always recommend people to try and gift like influencers and bloggers.
Yeah, that seems to work,
first of all, because there's people out there and they charge extortionate prices for like a post or whatever, and like you're not going to get the return on investment from that. So I would definitely recommend trying like the smaller kind of influencers and bloggers and gifting things and stuff like that first of all.
Yeah, when we spoke to Carrie Rose, She said she sent out like a box,
Oh yeah, no,
a
sorry.
little goodie. Why were you shaking your head then?
Because I thought you meant to say Catherine Jones on the influencer marketing, but you weren't
Oh no,
talking
I'm not.
about that.
I've not confused myself. No, I was just going to say, no, but you're right. What she said she sent out like 10 gifts, just not to influencers, but to companies, really big companies that they kind of wanted to work with.
Yeah.
And like eight of them came back and wanted to have a conversation. So similar kind of like, you've put me off now.
Sorry.
Shaking your head. It's disgraceful. That was relevant, not with influencers, but like when we spoke with Chris, Spongy Dude, he sent out his sponges to people for free because he was at his wit's end, I think, with a flat full of sponges. And he started gifting them out for free. And that's when it started to, people wanted them. And then all of a sudden someone bought something on his website and he nearly had a stroke.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. But it's brilliant, like, you know, the reach that you can get from influencers and bloggers like that.
Yeah.
It is fantastic. And it can really boost your brand. Like, it's brilliant.
What's the best way, would you say, to get organic reach on Instagram? Because I'm not going to lie, some of my posts, like when I look at the engagement that I'll get on Instagram, and then I look at the engagement that I get on LinkedIn. Say if I've got 40
yeah,
posts,
it's not even close.
40 likes on a post on Instagram, the views are like probably 10% what I would get on a post with the same engagement on LinkedIn. So what tactics should people be using to improve their organic reach on Instagram?
Yeah, so organic reach, one tip that I would always give is use your little question tool on your stories. So ask questions to your audience. Once they reply, share their replies with a little answer. So, you know, I love this. That's a brilliant point that you've just made, Charlotte. And then keep doing it with all those replies. Instagram, the algorithm loves it.
Does it?
It loves
That's
it.
a good one. I've never heard that.
Because then it goes, that's brilliant content. You know, people are replying to that and then they're resharing it with, you know, another response. So, right, this must be really interesting. And they love it. So it's brilliant. Other than that, at the moment, I would definitely say Reels.
I knew you were going to say that was the only thing that I ever get any decent views on.
Yeah, fantastic. Like, you know, the likes of you, Claire, like you could do a little reel of 5 reasons why you need a copywriter for your business. And you just stand there, smile and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, job done. I'm
going to write that down.
Brilliant.
I need to just stop sharing random memes that are completely pointless, basically.
Never stop doing that.
We all love memes. We love memes. Don't worry.
So that's a good shout, that is, that whole questions and answer things.
Yeah, definitely.
Not heard that before.
Yeah.
Anything else apart from that in Reels?
Let's see. I would
proper picking your brains we are here, because Charlotte's got things in the pipeline.
So Reels, stories, I would also do little polls as well, so this and that, and tag people. Always remember to tag you know, people that you're maybe working with or things like that. Yeah.
You've got Bridal Bird, haven't you? And you've got like 5,000 followers on Bridal Bird. And tell us some of the achievements that you've had with that page.
Yeah, so it's a little page I started up. So whenever I was working in marketing before, I managed the marketing for a hotel. And so one of the aspects of the hotel was weddings, of course. And of course I fell in love with weddings and encouraged my partner to get a ring for me. And so then, yeah.
Babe, I'm working on weddings. Hint. Yeah. Marriage.
Get that bling going.
Now.
But yeah, so before I was even engaged, I started up the page just to kind of see, because there's definitely a gap in the market. There's always influencers out there, but there wasn't for the bridal industry in Northern Ireland. So I was like, right, let's give it a go. You know, I know so much information to kind of give people tips for their little small businesses within the industry and for brides and grooms as well. So that's grand. My partner kind of freaked out and was like, why are you starting up a little page? You're not engaged.
You were like, not yet.
You're like, babe, you're going to make me look stupid if you don't put a ring on it soon.
Yeah, I'm like, you need to, because people keep asking, like, oh, when's your big day? And I have to say, I don't have a big day just yet.
Move along.
Yeah. So he felt bad and he proposed to me the 10th of July. So that was all great. But with that, then I have grew the followers like amazingly, and it's all been organic. So I put very, very little money behind Bridal Bird, and yeah, just the reach is fantastic. The growth has been amazing. The brands that I'm now starting to work with within Northern Ireland, and the support they're getting from the page is just, it's fantastic. Yeah.
So I think that's probably true what you've said. You maybe a bit of a gap in the market helps there.
Yeah.
And obviously, so how long have you been doing that page? A year, did you say?
Probably a year and a half, 2 years maybe.
Yeah. Because I think that's pretty good going, 5,000 followers in that space of time.
For a business
and
page,
and it's just a little sort of side venture.
Yeah, it's something like I will kind of go back and forth to, and sometimes I don't give it everything. So I preach all these things to clients about what we need to do in their page, but I'm being completely honest with my page. It has to take a back seat, and that's because I need to put my clients first. But yeah, if I had my way, I would make changes with it. But it's been fantastic given that it is organic. And that it's such a specific market. I don't have all these randos following me. It is very niche. So it's brides and grooms within Northern Ireland, or it is relevant businesses to the industry, which is fantastic. And we've even got, we've already had contracts from venues within Northern Ireland that are doing some promoting through the page, which is great. And they're very aware that it's maybe not, 50k followers, but it's a really good specialized kind of following that we've got, which is great.
Like you said, though, if it's not a bunch of randos, that's actually the right people. That's 5,000 of the right people, which makes a huge difference. I mean, I think on my followers on LinkedIn, goodness knows what's going on there. It's just some sort of free for all, to be honest. But it works in terms of the reach, the engagement, and brings enough clients to the door. So I don't worry too much. So how are you sort of finding LinkedIn? What's your kind of vibe on how different do you sort of market on LinkedIn compared to what you've traditionally done on Insta?
Okay, so LinkedIn, I was previously really scared of it. I'm starting to get a bit better. I'm just trying to be myself on it, and hope that people like the content. I am finding it a little bit difficult here and there because people are very opinionated on it.
Really? I've not noticed.
Yeah. Something that I don't like. I don't deal well with people being a little bit mean or.
That's fine. Now we're connected. I'll wade in for you. It's an absolute pleasure. I can't be doing with that at all, so I will kill people for you. It's fine.
Yeah, perfect. That works well. Thanks. But yeah, so that's the one thing that I do struggle with, especially when you're trying to put yourself out there, and maybe you're kind of getting knocked back a little bit. But I'm not letting it stop me, because I don't know if you've seen, but I popped a little post up the other day. This lovely girl that I don't even know sent me a message, and she was like, seeing those replies on your responses, which were totally like, I don't know why people wrote that, but sure. And that was just so lovely. And so when you see nice responses like that, you go, do you know what? I'm not going to stop, creating content and posting. Like, why should I? Yeah.
There's for every douchebag out there, there's way more nice people that aren't super aggressive just because you have a slightly different opinion on something. Wow, what nonsense. But yeah, you can literally, that's the problem. I think expressing opinions, giving things away about yourself, discussing what you think on sort of like relevant topics or trending stuff, or sharing your 2 cents. Unfortunately, that does sometimes bring out a wave of people that then attack your opinion. And that can be quite daunting, I think, because it is a sort of obviously professional platform. So it's like getting that balance right of what you're comfortable sharing on it. Whereas I'll put any old nonsense on Insta. I just think it's funny, but I'm not quite the same on LinkedIn. But I do think as well, like when you start to build up a bit more content and a bit more confidence and start sharing personal things, and then someone wades in going, you're a dick. It's like, what happened there? And you are. But yeah, it's there's always going to be people like that, but with the utmost respect, they tend to rarely post their own content, have no following, and issues. So no one should let it stop you. And it is also a very supportive community. Like I've made some really nice like little connection-y mates, and like had some really funny conversations with people and got to know people. And it's true, not her, but when you now, like I've had situations where someone's torpedoed my post of something unpleasant before
I
I've
will kill them.
before I've even got to clocking it and replying. About 7 people have just had a massive go at the person and told him to do one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, fantastic, I don't even need to respond. But there is that sense of community on LinkedIn in the same way that there is on Insta. So for all the douchebags.
And what I was thinking the other day was, like, I wouldn't have met you girls from LinkedIn. I wouldn't have got the majority of leads that I've got if it wasn't for LinkedIn.
Yeah.
What would we actually be doing with our businesses right now if it wasn't for LinkedIn?
I know, right?
I was
I
like,
know.
like, what if we woke up tomorrow and there was no LinkedIn?
That's true though, isn't it? Like for all the times when you sort of wake up and you think, oh, I can't be bothered with social media today. And everybody has that. I still post religiously every morning, weekdays on LinkedIn or afternoon, whatever. I'm struggling with that whole getting out of bed thing at the moment with the lockdown thing. But yeah, I still post religiously like every day. And even on the days that I don't feel like it, it's valuable. It's part of my marketing. It's my business. So I just try not to sort of take it all too personally. And you're right. There's been so many opportunities that have come my way that are 100% down to LinkedIn and social media marketing. So for every little person that wants to have a go at me for, wow, marketing my business, knock yourself out, mate. No one cares.
Yeah, exactly.
Where would you draw the line, Claire, with personal content on LinkedIn?
I wonder what you were going to say there.
Because you're not overly like gushy.
I'm quite private.
Yeah.
I am quite private. I'm quite not that okay, so I think I toe the line of revealing my personality without revealing my private life, if that makes sense. So I try and have fun with my content and write stuff which exhibits my personality, which I think everybody knows is quite fun and quite silly. So I'm real in how I speak and what I sort of speak about. But for me, anything deeply personal is pretty much off the menu. But to each their own.
Is that because you don't have a soul, or is that because you don't want to share that information?
I do, but my soul is black. Do you know what? I do think that there's only so much of myself I want to give it, if you know what I mean. And it's a personal thing, and it's very much a comfort level thing, and everybody's got to find their own comfort level. But for me, you know, some people, I love seeing people's content and you see a nice little smiley picture of their child, or they tell you what they've been doing at the weekend or whatever. I find that normal when other people do that, but I don't tend to massively do that myself. But I think I share enough of myself to give a flavour of who I am and what I'm about, but it tends not to be behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So I'm retaining an air of mystery. Either that, or I've just got no life and no one would want to know. It's a tough one, that is. But I do think you're right though. I don't actually like giving that much away.
You don't?
Yeah.
I like that about you though.
Yeah, it's something I struggle with as well, of, you know, I don't want people knowing too much about me, but then I want to get myself across because I want to show the personal side of things and sell my brand in that way. But yeah, I don't want to cross the line too much.
To be honest, I always look at Charlotte's content and I always
it's shit.
I didn't want to say anything, but we might as well get it out. No, obviously Charlotte's content is hugely popular and some of her posts are like stratospherically successful, but this is what I mean. Everybody's just so different. Some of the stuff that you do, I wouldn't be comfortable doing, therefore it wouldn't even be any good. Some of the stuff I do is kind of almost a bit straight-laced and a bit copywritery and, you know, copy tips and stuff like that. But then I try and get a balance of showing a bit of myself, but kind of keeping it quite kind of worky. But at the same time, you look at a lot of these kind of like influency type people and people with massive followings, they do tend to, a lot of them, give the inside of a duck's arse about their entire life.
I find that as well. They seem to have like for every single trend or hot topic, it relates to them in some way, if you know what I mean. So they'll be like, you know, vegan, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and then every single news story, they're like, that relates to me because this is my story of it. And you're like, how can all of those 50 different things over the course of the year actually relate to you? Like, how can you genuinely relate to that many different subjects?
Pretty much everything.
I struggle with that with some people. I'm like, really? Or are you just saying that because it's a hot topic right now?
Do you know what? You never know, do you? This is the whole thing of social media. You never know whether people are just embellishing it a little bit because it's marketing, or going with the flow, or just having their 2 cents. And in many respects, if it works, good luck to them. But I just think for me personally, I do sometimes think when people are posting all about their life and all about their personal life and all about their, you know, maybe their children, where they live, their job. You know, I saw someone put a post up the other day on Insta, and they'd obviously gone for a run and used Strava. So, right, you've just shown everybody where you live. Things like that worry me. I would never, maybe I'm being over the top, but I certainly wouldn't want to be advertising on social media where I live.
Especially when you get a stalker of social media, and then you're like, okay, like, I definitely don't want people knowing where I live.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Until you've had a problem, you don't understand how bad the problem can be.
Exactly.
And Charlotte and I have had a couple of whack jobs in both of our directions. And believe you me, don't be telling anyone where you live.
No, never. Unless you know really well, or you've worked with them. Don't, even if someone says, oh, I'd love to send you some, because I have sometimes people go to me,
be
I'd like
wary.
to send you this random thing because I really love your content. And I'm like, sorry, no, I'm not giving you my address. Like, I don't have an office, so you can keep your gift. I don't want to give you my address. You might be a psycho.
Yeah, but you just don't know, do you? And I've been talking to somebody to start with, and then they have revealed themselves to be truly psycho. And I look back through the conversation thinking, please tell me I didn't say anything. And thankfully I didn't.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, this is getting quite alarming for a casual Sunday afternoon.
I'm starting to worry, being like, okay.
We're just literally panicking, you know, aren't we?
But anyway,
that's
keep
very
posting,
rare,
Rebecca.
though. Yeah, you'll be fine.
No pictures of your address or phone number. Avoid it.
Safety online.
So you've had social thread marketing for a year now.
Yeah.
You must have maybe made the odd mistake or bad call. Like, what would you kind of advise someone based on your 12-month journey so far that's obviously been very successful? What would you kind of tell anyone to look out for, or maybe avoid, or anything like that that could be useful for someone that's on the fence right now?
Yeah. If you are starting off in business, I would always say, like, just reach out to people and ask them questions. That's one thing that at the very start, like, I was a wee bit unsure about it, but then I was very lucky to have fallen in to Alice's network, where I was able to, like, drop questions to her and she'd respond with some really helpful advice. And then from that, you know, I connected with a few business owners, and I used to just send them little messages on LinkedIn and ask different questions, like, you know, how do I set up doing invoices? Like, I didn't know how to do that. What do I do regarding this and that and payments? And, you know, I even contacted this guy. He owns a PR company in Northern Ireland, and it was the very start, and I said about my prices, and he was like, Rebecca, you need to double them, triple them, sort that out.
But what an important conversation to have, isn't it?
100%, because I first of all was going, no, I'm robbing people, this is terrible. Then again, had that conversation with Charlotte a few months or weeks ago, and she was again,
I literally gave her a massive bollocking and was like, why are you charging that much? You need to double your prices.
Yeah.
Charlotte's good at bollockins.
I can't ask anybody for any more, really. Like, oh my goodness. But it makes total sense.
Charlotte's pretty harsh, to be honest. Do you know what?
I'm more demanding now.
You are, yeah. I've actually got in touch with other people that I'm sort of friendly with on LinkedIn and gone, your prices suck, mate. You need to sort them out. Take that post down. That you can't charge that. That's so cheap that I would actually think what you're doing.
Yeah, it's good to network and get out there and ask questions, you know, whether, like,
definitely.
Don't be going, oh, it's my price and I don't want to tell anybody. Ask, because you know, the guy that owns the company in Belfast, the PR company, he's so helpful. Like, he'll drop messages and he'll say, like, you should have this notice period for your clients and make sure they pay you up front. And amazing. I wouldn't
Stuff
have
like
thought.
that's invaluable, because you can have all the marketing experience, you know, you can be hooking up with famous clients and doing their Instagram. You've got to get the fundamental processes in place for everything to do with your business.
Yeah.
I think people in business, especially when you're starting out, you're really closed because you're really protective of what you're trying to build, and it's scary because you're like, I don't want to tell other people what I'm doing in case they're gonna think, who do I think I am doing that, and can I even do it? Because you don't really know, because you're starting out, so you're taking a risk, and you don't have a manager anymore, you don't have a safety net, do you? So it's scary to go and have conversations with other people that have been doing it longer than you, because you feel like secretly inside you feel like a bit of a fraud. So petrifying. And then you feel like if you're going to tell them your ideas, they might pinch some of your ideas, or you feel like they're going to laugh at you, or you know, so it's so scary. But actually, I think it's so important to, and I'm not saying trust everyone, because there are some absolute knob-ends out there, but it's so important to have a network, and just one or two people that are doing something similar to what you're doing, peers, even competitors, that, you know, you don't have to tell them the ins and outs of a duck's ass, but that you can bounce ideas off each other and what's best practice in your industry, because it makes such a difference. I mean, even Claire, I've learned loads from you, Claire, and just having chats with you. And sometimes if I'm like, what do I do? You're so
I
straight
am very
talking.
knowledgeable and wise.
You are. You're like an owl.
Yeah,
and your head spins around
like
as well,
Yoda.
which is really
yeah, that's like the Omen.
You're very good. Similar to an owl. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really helpful to have
and
people,
to just have a laugh with people that get it, that get the struggles, that when you kind of ring them up or whatever and go, you'll never guess what just happened, they can guess, because like you're in the same boat. There's something to be said from that, especially when you're a solopreneur or whatever they want to call it these days, and you're doing everything yourself, from invoicing to marketing to client onboarding to you name it, you know.
So important.
It's nice to share the struggles, man. It's emotional.
It is.
It's beautiful.
Anyway, we should let you go.
Yeah,
soon,
we
Rebecca.
should let you go and open. I'm going to open some wine. I'm just going to say it.
Oh, amazing.
I had a drink last night for the first time.
Charlotte's not drank for 7 weeks.
Yeah.
I've been trying to sort that out though. Yeah.
I have. I drank.
You're looking very show. Obviously you're editing.
We'll prop this bit out.
Show Rebecca, right? Not to be horrible, but Charlotte, look at the
so that's why I've deliberately kept my head up like this for the whole interview.
One of my favourite hobbies is laughing at Charlotte, right? And she makes it so easy.
I do loads of stuff. This is why I haven't drunk for 7 weeks.
Oh, God.
The second I have,
because you let people dye your hair.
Bleach my hair. I've got bleach under the cupboard. Come on, just lighten it a few shades. The hairdresser's open tomorrow.
Yeah.
Why?
I know. Why? You've waited this long. She sent me a video of it last night and I was like, oh my God, you look like a leopard.
I was going to do this months ago, and I decided it was a really bad idea to try and lighten my hair on my own, because it's black and it's had black hair dye on it, and it was always going to go wrong. But then after half a bottle of red wine, I'm like, this is a brilliant idea. Just do it now.
I put a few little blonde bits in my hair, but I've managed to sneak.
Well, you've done that.
No, I didn't do it. The hairdresser.
I was going to say, you've done well. Good job.
Yeah, no, that was Tony and Guy. Thanks, Tony and Guy. And I'm back in there on the 5th of May. I'm so happy.
Well done, babe.
Even just my hair gets all scraggly. It starts to look like rat tails after a while. I say after a while, pretty much all the time.
I'm not going to say anything nice about your hair because you called me a leopard yesterday.
Right, but she put another colour on it this morning, which has made it look red. Last night it looked
it.
Last night, it looks all not as bad now. Last night
you said awesome then.
I toned it down. It looked last night it was orange and black leopard spots.
Oh my God.
I might have to post that. I might have to find that video.
Claire, I've got worse of you. I've got worse.
Right, no, we won't go down that
LinkedIn.
road.
I'll put on LinkedIn.
No.
We can't play this game with each other.
We can't ever mess with each other now, because we could both seriously tank each other.
We've got some serious dirt on each other, so we can't. Because who knows where it will end, and neither of us will have any friends left at the end of it.
Or family.
No, we'll just get disowned and probably end up homeless. So we can't even play that
Maybe
game.
we'll leave that then. Yeah.
Don't do
We'll
it.
leave it.
Right. Let's
Listen,
let Rebecca go.
It's been such a pleasure to meet you. And if there's anything I can help with on LinkedIn or anything that you want to shoot my way, or if you get beef from any trolls, then I will destroy them.
We will kill them for you.
That's perfect.
I
That's
take
perfect.
great pleasure in that.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me today. It was great. It was so good.
You're amazing. Keep up the good work.
And we'll here.
Just before I came on, I got another LinkedIn inquiry through for Instagram marketing. So
ooh, go girl.
So I'm going to get back to that now. Yeah.
Awesome.
I know. Brilliant. Well, here, thank you so much, girls, and have a lovely night.
Enjoy your Sunday.
Take care. See you later.